Going on, guys? Today I'm going to show you how to do the Big 3 upgrade kit on my Honda. So first off, you can get this wire. I would get 0 gauge wire if you can. This is CCA wire, so it's a little bit cheaper, more affordable. You can use this under the hood, which is what I'm going to do today. You can click the link in my bio. You can get all the 0 gauge wire that you want, and you can get 5% off using my code CountryBoy. So let's go ahead and get into it. So first things first, for the Big 3 upgrade is there's 3 things that you're going to want to do. One, you're going to have to run a positive wire from this to your alternator. And this is your alternator stud right here. It's just for your positive. This is the stock looking wire, so a pretty small little wire. So I want to say that's probably about 8-10 gauge wire, and you're beefing it up using 0 gauge bigger thick wire. So you want to use it right on that stud. So positive to positive. Next step you want to do is you want to run negative, and you want to find some spot on the frame and you want to ground it. Right down here, I don't know if you guys can see it down here, but that is my little bitty ground right there. Like I said, small, thin little wire, and we're going to use that. So that's the second one. Alright, so guys, we got the third one is all the way over here, and it is the engine ground to the frame. You can see that little wire. I've already kind of got a little bit of it out, but it's so small. It's 8 gauge wire, so might be 8 or 10 gauge. So now we got to get that one unloose, and we're going to replace it with this 0 gauge wire. So first step that you're going to want to do is disconnect your ground from the actual battery post and try to clean off some of the excess dirt and try to get something that can sand some of that down. That'll be great for you. What we're also going to do is we're going to take the little stud off of the positive. You don't actually have to take the whole entire piece off like the ground. Just take the nut off, and what we're going to do is we're going to put this other 0 gauge wire that I have right down here, and I got the red so you know it's positive. And what we're going to do is we're going to run it off of the positive stud, connect it right up here, and then we're basically going to run it to the alternator piece right there. Alright guys, so we got this right up here. We screwed that down some, and now I'm going to run this right down here where you can't even hardly see it to the positive stud of the alternator. Right there, that's the wire before, and now we got the big 0 gauge wire going on top of it, and now I'm going to tighten it down. So let me get to doing that. So we have the negative piece disconnected. I said it's going right down here to this small little frame ground right here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to get my bigger wire right down here, and we're going to run a better ground and a lot nicer looking ground. Alright guys, so we got this is the frame ground to the engine block. Okay, so this is a little small wire that we got, very small compared to the 0 gauge. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put some 0 gauge back there and sand it down just a little bit so we get a good connection, and then we're going to be done with part 2, which is frame ground to the engine block. Guys, we got the ground wire from the engine block to the frame, sanded it down to bare metal, and we have that good to go. So now we're down to the last step, guys, and that is replacing the battery ground to the frame ground. Guys, so I didn't really want to get down there to that little bitty wire down there, so what I did is just made another hole right here for the ground. This is going to be the frame ground. So I'm basically going to run a negative from here right to there. I did sand it down. Make sure you sand it down to bare metal anytime you're doing a ground. So now we just got to connect it and put this bolt in, and we should be good to go, guys. As we got the 0 gauge wire on, now all that's left to do is to hook the negatives back up, and then everything will be good to go, guys. So it's easy as that. Set positive to positive alternator. That is the ground from the frame to the battery ground, and then of course right over here you have the negative ground of the frame to the negative ground of the engine block. And that's it, guys. Like I say, you can get the 0 gauge wire in the link on my YouTube page. It'll be a little link tree. Go to Big Jeff Audio, put in CountryBoy 82, I think it's 827 or CountryBoy, and it should say you 5% off. And you can get this wire pretty cheap. Like I said, CCA is not that expensive. OFC is pretty expensive, so as long as the connections are pretty good, you should only need CCA, but it's totally up to you guys. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and that is how to do the Big 3 upgrade kit in my Honda.